They used to say a week in politics is a very long time. Turn that to days. Every single day there's something else coming out. First of all, let's just clarify more success. Nigel Farage put a tweet and a Facebook post out showing the Reform website where you can go on a live tracker and watch people joining up. It's like a one-armed bandit in Vegas. It's going round all the time. When I last looked, last night, I think it was 108,000, something like that. And I looked again this morning, it's 120,000. And as Nigel Farage states, once they get up to 131,000, they passed the Tory party. So many people have left the Tories. The Tories used to have 400,000 members, you know, and it went down to 200,000 after they betrayed Brexit, and it's just been tanking ever since. So if you want to go on the live tracker, just go on the Reform website and live tracker, put it into Google and it'll come up. Here's a kicker. Our very good and favoured MP, Rupert Lowe, is knocking it out the park. A name, I must say, that no one really knew, that wouldn't have got a chance to shine like this had it not been for the vehicle of Reform choosing him as a candidate and allowing him to stand. As it is, his constituents, and they're on threads on my YouTube and Facebook, say that he's their MP and they're made up with him. He's doing a lot of good locally, beyond the call of his duty as an MP, and he surrenders his wage every month to local causes. He doesn't take it home. He's well off. He doesn't need it. He didn't come into politics to make his money. He came in to make a difference. And that's what I like about people like that. So I'm going to read you out his one of his latest tweets. There's that many. But this has had 1.3 million views. That's a lot of views because his main audience is Great Britain. Here's what he tweeted. See if it makes sense to you. And see if this doesn't just cheer up your Christmas. I sit in Westminster listening to politicians bang on about these desperate asylum seekers, and I just think, am I losing my mind? I look at the pictures and look at the facts. These are not women and children fleeing war and persecution. The overwhelming majority of these individuals are men, young foreign men, most of whom are from alien cultures which hold no respect for our own way of life or British values. They are not genuine asylum seekers. They are illegal migrants. How can anyone in their right mind look at these boats packed full of blokes and sincerely believe that these are people we should be welcoming into our country? No questions asked. We have no idea who they are, and as few as 1 in 50 have a passport. When they are picked up, how many are criminals? How many are terrorists? We just don't know. Inserting these men into communities around the UK is a total and utter insanity. Can you imagine what these people must think of us? Free accommodation, food, upkeep, healthcare, recreational activities. Is it a surprise that thousands and thousands more want to join in their footsteps? The boat should be turned around. Those who do arrive should be securely detained and deported as swiftly as possible. Nobody who comes illegally should stay. Nobody here illegally should stay. Now, the reason I've read that out is referring to the ones in the little boats, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with this MP's current viewpoint and stance on this, because he's the only one saying it out loud. And the difficulty is you cannot trust Labour or Tories to give you anything like what you need for your country on any level, not in healthcare, not in education, not in housing, not in jobs, not in the fire service. They cannot address anything because both parties are guilty of allowing immigration to be totally unmanaged on every level. He's being fair, he's only addressing the illegal ones crossing the channel. But how refreshing is it to see someone new to politics but not new to life, not new to business, not new to farming, not new to being reasonable, the ex-chairman of Southampton Football Club. This guy has a really good grasp of life in general. He's well off, so he doesn't need your money. He doesn't need to go into politics to make himself rich. He's done that on his own. And coming from a poor background as I do, I don't fear people who are well off coming into politics because they're doing it for another reason. I don't need to work. I haven't worked since I was in my mid-40s. I do this every single day. I won't give up over Christmas. I'll still be on tomorrow, Christmas Eve, because I believe in what I'm doing and I've got the time to do it. A lot of people don't. They're still working, they're young, they've got families, yourself included. But this is just my way of giving a bit of something back. I can communicate. I'm prepared to put the spade work in, looking what's about and showing you things that you might just have missed. And to spur you on to realise this fight is not over and we have not lost. We are on the road to recovery. Imagine a new party like Reform having the facility to put a tracker up to show you just how many people are joining. 1,000 people joined in 5 hours. That's amazing. So we have to celebrate these wins, because that feeling that you get when you listen to me narrate that is the feeling I want stirring in your bellies, so that you know it's not all doom and gloom. That depends how you want to blog about it. Because if it was all doom and gloom, I don't think I could cope. I think I'd be thinking, oh God, no. And it's not like that. And I've been around miserable people. I know what they're like. They drag you down with them. But you don't have to be dragged down, because this is all part of it. I'll read you something else. This is an extract from the Financial Times, Daniel Thompson, Anna Gross and Jim Pickard. Nothing to do with Star Trek. They write in the Financial Times. This is just a short clip. Nick Candy, the new treasurer of Nigel Farage's right-wing Reform Party, they couldn't miss that bit out, could they? Has promised Britain political disruption like we've never seen before, as he claims to have several other billionaire backers in addition to Elon Musk. The property developer told the Financial Times that he would raise more money than any other political party and that Reform would have more members than the Conservative Party within 3 months, as it draws it disillusioned Tories and Labour voters. In 3 months, I think they'll have it before Christmas. They're only 10,000 off now, being neck and neck with the Tories, which is incredible. The Tories have been the oldest party in the world. And they've trashed what they built up because they've let too many liberals in who are not conservative in their values. People are afraid that Reform's going to be conservative too. I'm not. Because if we'd have had a Thatcher government, none of this would have gone on. There wouldn't be people languishing in hotels. There'd be no mandates to push you into drugs. There would have been no lockdown. She'd have had a look round and seen what Sweden was doing. She was sensible. Not perfect, but sensible. So when people say it's going to be Tory too, that branch of the Tory party, which is why the Bruges Group set up, because they were really Thatcherites, they weren't Tories, they were Conservatives. There's a massive difference. And the Tories are ruthless. The Tories will lie to you to save their own skin. They'll want to save the party. So they'll come out with stuff to save the party. They will not face the fact that it's crashed and burned. Now, Nick Candy is a billionaire. I'd say he's not daft. And he's going to attract other billionaires. And I'd say Elon Musk isn't daft. So these worries that people have about where Reform's heading, whether it's set up democratically, what's Nigel Farage in it for, the easiest thing that Nigel Farage could have done to earn money is just bugger off to America. They'd have paid him millions. He gets £1.2 million a year for GB News. And if that was a problem, i.e. Nigel Farage making any money out of all this, why don't you just leave that to his billionaire backers to worry about? Because they'll have it tied up tighter than a gnat's arse. They won't let anybody get away with anything, the billionaires. They won't be going into this to make money. They'll be going into this because they can't make money in their own line of business under the regime that we've got. It's not to leech anything from reform. It's so that reform can rekindle what we had in this country, which what we had was a society that looked after its needy and gave its entrepreneurs and the people that want to shoot forward in life and have a go, it gave them the opportunity to do it. People like me, I'm no big shakes, but let's face it, I'm a damn sight better off than my mum and dad. And I didn't do it through the university system. I do it through getting up to an alarm clock, getting out in the morning and working and doing that till I could afford not to do it and not letting anything stand in my way. I didn't frivolously waste my money on stuff I could do without. I focused. Now that doesn't mean everybody has to live like that, but it means at least in a society like that, everybody has the chance to be the best they can be. And I'm a big believer in that, massive believer in it. That's why I often share small businesses and what they do on my pages, because they need a leg up. I've got a big audience, I'll use it. People trying, mortgaging their houses to start a business. We want that spirit back. They'll give it you. Reform will give you this. Sadly, Tommy Robinson is not in a position to give you that. And neither is the Tory party or Labour. In fact, Labour, not only can they not give it you, they want to take it off you. That's the difference. And unfortunately, the big firms have been captured by the woke rhetoric, the diversity, equity and inclusion, which isn't working for them. They're all backing away from it quietly. And this is the moment in time. This is it changing now. So I am not concerned at all with where Nigel Farage sits, how rich he ends up, how much money he loses. I am not concerned. I'm just glad to see a face back at the front that can lead us this way. And he's choosing a team around him. He's doing just what President Trump's done. He's wiser now. He knows that people can let you down. He's going for quality, not quantity. And believe me, I think he's going to get it. There's lots more I want to tell you, but I had to just share that with you because that's just such good news. And knowing that the other parties are afraid of this. This is the vehicle they're afraid of. You need a vehicle. You cannot change anything after a rally. It's good to go on a rally. Understand, especially if you can get to it easy, if you're down on the south coast. You're living around London, you can get out and, I think it must be a great feeling that to be stood shoulder to shoulder with people who think like you. I never get that opportunity. I only get it in WhatsApp because I'm sat here, I'm up in the north and I do this on my own. I've no staff, there's nothing like that. It's not a money-making exercise, this is an interruption on my life. And I don't begrudge it, I don't begrudge 1 second. I do it, I'm totally focused. But the only way you'll change anything is to put a vehicle in there that has the facility to create the change. And you've got a party that wants proportional representation and direct democracy. So a lot of the stuff we suffer from, money blown on HS2, that's one of the biggest cripplers, that is. The money blown on asylum seekers, the money blown on PPE, the money blown on net zero targeting, the money blown on creating companies that get so many tax benefits that they become millionaires. That is wrong. We wouldn't have any of that. We'd be back on track to a more normalised country where we can look after our needy. Now, only you know if you're on benefits if you're needy. You know if you're swinging leg. You know what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't be putting myself into this party. I'm going with successful people breed success. Nick Candy is going to bring other people to the table. And believe me, there are rumblings from a lot of people who are very, very unhappy. Employers. And the thing is, this can be harnessed, this anger, this distrust of the main parties can be harnessed into the fight back that we need. It can be harnessed. It's an energy bubble, isn't it? It's an energy bubble. Let's not let it die out. You can't stay angry forever, can you? Even if you're mad at your husband. I mean, I felt like throwing a spaghetti bolognese over Dave's head, but I don't feel like that 4 days later. I've usually ate it. But you harness that anger and you give it somewhere to go. Give it somewhere to go. Go to reform. They'll sort it out. They'll get good MPs. They'll get good people standing now because they can afford to help them. They can afford to move it on to a more professional footing. You know, he's not going, when Nigel Farage goes to Mar-a-Lago, he's not going to have a jolly good time. He can have a jolly good time anywhere he wants. He's got enough money, got a good income. He goes over there for strategy. He goes over there to see how Trump did it. He goes over there to grow the vehicle that he's got control of. And I'm glad he's got control. I am glad he's got control, because membership control at this stage in the game could blow it to smithereens. Because all you need to do is get activists, and they're smart, they'll do it. They've got in the Tory party. Come on, how do you think they got in the Tory party? They joined it. They joined it, and they've managed to mould the Tory party into what they bloody well want, which is not conservative. Do you want that to happen, to reform? Because he can't do it while Nigel's at the top, because he'll see what's going on and he won't have it. So I am not the slightest bit, it's the only thing I've ever disagreed with Ben Habib. I am not the slightest bit bothered. I think it's a safeguard where we sit at the moment. But, you know, this is a good day. This is a good day. And this will be a good Christmas.